Hello YouTube, Instagram or whatever platform you're watching me on. Today we've got another paint along speed painting. It's part of my daily sci-fi fantasy crazy creature speed painting exercise. It's when basically I go in blank canvas, no idea, throw some digital brushes around, make a mess on the canvas and then try and turn it into some sort of environment or whatever it comes up with. Just a daily practice. So this one turned out a little bit strange, like they all do, but it was a fun process nonetheless. So hope you enjoy watching me paint this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Right, so I'm going to be showing you guys a little secret. So there was a Facebook page a long time ago where someone would upload all these different colour swatches from different films. So all the colour palettes from films. So if you're stuck with what colours you want to use for a painting, then you can colour pick from these. Generally I don't use the colour picker, like I can do paintings without the colour picker, but if you want your paintings to look nice and cinematic and have a good feel to them, then just basing it off this group of colour swatches, this one, it's a good start to a painting. So nice little trick. So we're gonna pick one. I have no idea what I'm painting. Again, I think it's going to be some like weird monster or something. I did one of them the other day and it came out pretty well, so I might do another one. Let's choose this one. Some greens and unsaturated browns. So what I normally do, I'll just get rid of this. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, and then stop it, and then just shove this up in the corner. Right, so normal way I start painting, let's cover the canvas in a mid-tone. So something like that. And now we're going to start muddying up the canvas. And we're going to use the lasso tool to make some crazy shapes as well, I think. Pick another colour, shove that in there. Another little trick, lower the opacity and the flow of your brushes. And you get this kind of like watercolory effect. This brush is really good, by the way. This is part of Greg Rakowski's brush pack. You can purchase that off DeviantArt. Very good brush pack if you want it to look kind of traditional oil painterly. Right, mess the palette up. This is a weird colour palette, I've got to say. It's looking a bit too happy. Mess it up some more with a blur brush. Sound effects make you paint better, everyone knows that. Oh, my computer can't keep up with the pixels. And then just start picking off your palette. Let's make a shape. Voila, one shape. See, the start of a painting is always the hardest bit, because at this stage I'm literally like, can I even paint? Am I even an artist? I don't know. What is this? But you've got to trust in your intuition and your knowledge. And just say, I normally say to myself, I've painted literally thousands of these, so I'm going to be able to turn it into something. But at this stage, it's a bit questionable. I don't even know what this is going to be. I don't know if it's a landscape. I normally do sci-fi landscapes on my speed painting days, but the other day I painted a creature and I enjoyed it quite a lot actually. So this might turn into a creature, might just end up being another landscape painting. I don't know. Let's get some darker values in there. use my favourite smudge brush, push the paint around on the canvas a little bit. So this method, what I'm basically trying to do, I'm trying to look for something in the clouds. I've said it a million times before on my channel. You're just like looking for patterns in clouds like you did as a kid. Same with this kind of painting method. I mean, I'm already kind of, if you look here, this could almost be like, this is complete accident. This could almost be like a bit of land with grass on top, right? Screw it, we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna roll with it. Let's add some light coming in here. More of an edge there. Let's roll with that idea. Let's see where it takes us, shall we? It's always good to use an airbrush as well, because that kind of, especially if it's going to turn into a landscape, this is what kind of makes a landscape, having that atmospheric distance, the smog and the mist. You gotta roll with it, you gotta take your time, you gotta say what you say. Yeah, wait. Alright, let's change our brush again. So if you want it to look kind of traditional looking, keep changing your brush, because it will get you a lot of brush stroke variation, because that's exactly what happens when you're actually painting, right? Each brush stroke is different from the last. So in order to get that effect, you need to keep changing brushes like this. And also, if you change brush all the time, you end up finding out new shapes and ideas that you might not have come to before. Put a bit of that grass down here. Just get random songs pop in my head. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's do some shapes. Just playing with the lasso tool. Voila. Got some weird shapes going. Play with the values, adjust the hue slightly. Do a tapping motion. Tap, tap, tap. Put the stylus here, shall I? So you can see what I'm doing. Tap the brush. Push the paint around. Push the paint around. Push the paint around. Let's use some of this orange colour that was in my colour palette that I showed you earlier. Just loosely place some of it down. If you see me look over there, by the way, that's my navigator screen. So basically, I've got a small version of my canvas on my other screen, and that kind of simulates stepping away from the canvas. And you know, you see the artists do this. They do that for a reason, because basically a good composition has got to work from far away. I've just seen something within this mess. Right, here we go. This is where a creature might emerge. Let's see. Ooh. Spikes. Oh, I've got such a weird job. You just, like, if you can ever make a living from doing artwork for people, getting in with a publisher, doing commissions, you're basically being paid to be a child. Obviously, it takes a lot of hard work and skill to get to a level where people will pay you for it. But yeah, you got to enjoy it if you're doing it, because it's pretty bad time to be an artist right now, let's be honest. Not with like generative AI and just drowning in a sea of just nonsense online, and just they have to compete with that. It's a strange time for everyone, not just artists. It's a strange time. But what else can you do? But just keep moving forward, you know? Whenever I start getting bummed out about it, I always just think, you know, like, come on, reality check. Because I've done loads of different jobs in my life, and even just to get one commission, one book cover I would have been over the moon for. But you know what it's like when you get into anything. You've had the one book cover, you've had the one game, and you just want more, you want more, you want more, and then it's the way the human mind works. You're just never satisfied. But obviously you need that in order for the drive to keep moving forward. But yeah, I just say to myself, if it all ends tomorrow, I've achieved something that I thought was never possible for myself. And that still sounds depressing, the thought of going back to a normal 9 to 5. But still, I did it. I did something that I said I was going to do. So whatever. I'm pretty confident I'll be okay there. I'm a tough bastard. Right, enough yapping. Let's actually do some painting, shall we? Right, so values. You need to make sure if you've got a really dark value, like the darkest, that's like 10% of your painting. So we could put some really dark in here, and the same with the lightest value as well. So that is just 10% of your painting. So that's just going to be for highlights only. You got to have value structure. So we can afford a little bit more of a higher value here if we want. But everything else, it's got to be within a tight value scheme. Like if you look over here, within here, let's go to the grayscale slider. Within here to here is 80% of your painting. The darkest of dark, the lightest of light is the other remaining percentage. If that makes any sense. Just, you can't have like loads of this. Like, it's too dark already. Only a little bit. For highlights only. And accents only. That makes sense. Hopefully. It probably doesn't, but whatever. And painting and explaining things is difficult to do. Right, let's start. So, okay. This is turning into a bit of a landscape / creature painting. So, light source coming from this way. So now we've got to imagine there's a light source coming down here. What on all this garbage is the light going to hit? Right, so I'm thinking, let's get a flat brush. That would be good for a surface of some sort. This one, hard elliptical. Right, so we've already got some up here. Increase the values here. Bum, bum, bum. Maybe let's just pick from our colour palette, shall we? And now that's making a surface in 3D space now, because you've given it a plane. You've got the side plane, now you've got the top plane. Bum, bum, bum. See? Magic! It's magic. Little bit here. Just making some terrain. I used to love that when I was younger, making Terran for like Warhammer 40k and stuff. I had no idea what I was doing, but I used to just lose myself in a mess of paper mache and just little model trees and modelling flock, especially. Right, I'm thinking, let's bring this guy closer, lower the value, get the old. Is this a crocodile's face? Don't know. This is actually always what I've been quite good at, is this weird abstract art. I feel like this is what AI is good at as well. It's an easy subject matter because it's like, I watched a video by Feng Zhu the other day and he hit the nail on the head. Like, if you're doing something that's not necessarily meant to be anything, it's up to the viewer's kind of interpretation. That's kind of easy for AI to do. It's, if you've got painting skills, it's easy for a person to do. The hard thing to do is like an IP, like everything's got to be under a certain like spec, like specification. And, you know, if you're doing like a Wild Western scene, like everything has to be from that era. It can't just be a bunch of random shapes and objects. Everything must have a purpose. That's why I kind of like doing my spaceship designs that I do a lot. Because you've got to think about like, okay, if the wing's there, where's the thrusters going to be? The cockpit can't be here right next to a missile silo, otherwise it's going to be really bloody noisy when the missile goes off. Stuff like that. Let's have some tea, shall we? Chamomile tea. Cheers. It's not as good as coffee, but I'm actually cutting down on coffee now. Sick of it. Sick of doing actions every day and not even thinking about why. Spending all my money on coffee. I mean, coffee's okay, but every day for years and years and years? Time for a change, methinks. Probably to do with my recent stay in Thailand. I'm going all, you know, green tea and meditation now. Look after mind, body and spirit. Because the world, the system, wants that to die. Let's get some more of this warm colour. Warmish colour. I mean, yeah, it's alright. These dailies are supposed to be sci-fi. This is not looking very sci-fi at the minute. Come on, what is going on here? That's not going anywhere. Get rid of that. Just found an idea. This is going to end up being a bit creaturey now. Could be a creature that's like been made into the rock. Look at this. This is what I like about art. I get excited when my brain thinks of stupid ideas. Oh, get rid of that one. I'm not going to use that one. And then some little ones down there. Oopsie daisy. All right. Okay. I'm gonna roll with this for a while. It could be interesting. See, it's funny. In like 20 minutes, it's starting to actually look like a painting now, right? Right? As long as you know your fundamentals, value structure, light values to dark values, light, saturation in the shadows, less saturated in the light, get a colour scheme, colour palette going. Perspective, so I guess my horizon line is here and we're looking down, right? So everything's going to be flat on the horizon line like this, like all this stuff. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a jade Asian kind of jade coloured Asian landscape. Jasian. Right, that was shit. Oopsie daisy. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. Great tool this. Pushing the colours around. Little bits of rock sticking up. Have that. So push this back. This is another fundamental atmospheric perspective. Straight away. Now into further away now. Bum, bum, bum. I think there's the fundamentals which you've got to think of, but you've also got to have instinct as to what looks good and just because when I'm painting I'm not thinking of the fundamentals, I'm just kind of going, okay, does that look okay? And it's like having an instinct about what needs to be changed, and you can't really teach that, I don't think. It just comes with experience of just doing paintings over and over again, just studying paintings and studying life, just kind of figuring out how real life works, how nature is constructed, all that nonsense. Don't listen to me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I might even lay in some photo textures now. It's not cheating if you know how to do it without photo textures. All photo textures is detailing, and all detailing is just painting on a smaller scale. You're just going in, and if you notice as well, I stay zoomed out when I'm doing all this. Always stay zoomed out. Let's mess with this a little bit, see if we can come up with anything a bit more interesting. Yeah, I might even just change the whole thing. I'll leave it as it is for now. Push them further back. Whoops. Ba, ba, ba. Why is that like that? It's probably quite weird when I stare into your soul, isn't it? Whoever's watching. Enjoy. Right, we're gonna make some surface again. You can kind of see, this is just when the joy of, the advantage of starting loose. Because you get all these little happy accidents, as Bob Ross would call it. little shapes and values that just accidentally end up on the page, and you go, okay, that can be this, that can be that, and then the painting kind of just paints itself. So for example, I don't know, let's find something. So there, okay, little weird shape, but we could add some lighter value to it, turn it into like an object, you know, maybe some stairs. Let's get some mist in the scene, shall we? Good little cheat, in case you can't be bothered to do any detail. Put in some mist, especially in between planes. So select this, boom, mist. Mist. The best. Mist. It will always be mist. And again here, pop that out. Boom. Pop her out. Lovely. And maybe another one here. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? This one. Nice. It's probably going to be my weirdest one yet. Right, so this is going to be my focal point. So I've got to think about maybe doing some sort of character, like a dragon or something. So the focal point, let's have some chamomile, let's get a good brush. So the focal point is the whole point of the image. There's no point having an image like this and then the viewer don't know where to look. Where's the viewer supposed to look? I think the viewer's supposed to go travel around here. And you can do that with highlights. So you can guide the viewer with light. Like so. So there's a focal point here, obviously. And then down here as well. And B1. Don't like this brush. Get rid of it. This one will do. So straight away your eye is drawn. Drawn. No pun intended. Drawn to this area. You're almost making a little guide with light. Bum 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 bum. Right, and then ooh, and there. Oh, it's getting exciting now, isn't it, lads? Right, so who's this guy? It doesn't have to be something that's alive. Just like an old, they could call it like dragon rock or something like that. An ancient rock in the shape of a dragon. Or so the myth. So the legend says. What am I talking about? Let's get that cloud brush again. Bump. Bump. What I'll do, I'll stop this video when it comes to the detail phase. I'm actually getting close to the detail phase now, because that is just more of the same, but zoomed in, basically. Easy. Right, good thing to do, levels. So clearly we need more highlights on this. Not enough light value. So let us oblige. What kind of brush do I want to use for this? Let's use my new favourite. That one. So let's stick in some really light value somewhere. Like just little splodges of the lightest value. Because then our little levels widget is going to be happy, because then you've got your full range of colour spectrum then. Well, not colour spectrum, but values, which is good, which is what you want. Right, so we can have some little highlights here. Sod it. Bum, bum, bum. What you do want as well is some nice soft edges. I always forget to do soft edges, and soft edges are... Before I start the video, I'll do some soft edges right now. So it's the same as like skin tone and the way your skin is. Very soft edges, meaning like how you use the airbrush. So when it gradually goes from an increase in shade, increase in tone, like shading with a pencil. So what I do to get a nice soft edge, whoops, where's my other favourite brush that I use all the time? There it is. So use this chalk brush, really low opacity and flow. That's like 14 and 18. So now you can slowly, and you need a good blending brush as well. You can slowly build up some almost skin-like soft edges. And the more you keep layering on, the higher in value it gets, just like skin. This is a great method to paint skin. I learnt this from Hardy Fowler's tutorials. He's a great YouTube teacher. He's got some great courses on udemy.com. Udemy! Blend it. So this is, to make a good painting you need a variety of hard edges, which is this. This is a hard edge. Soft edges, this is a soft edge. And then lost edge, which is just kind of like this, or kind of like this. It's like the same, might be like the same value, but like a different hue. It's kind of just like you're not sure where the edge starts and the edge ends, sort of thing. It's hard to explain, but you can look all this stuff up. Let's do a kind of like eye. I'm seeing an eye, accidentally. Aye, Captain. I'm such a loser. Get a dark bit in there. I'm going to turn that into an eye at some point. Maybe in the detail phase. We shall see. Right, more soft edges. Increase the value, change the hue. I have a tendency to not concentrate very well on this stuff. My mind starts to wander. It's literally because I'm just on autopilot. So I need to consciously refocus all the time, which is kind of annoying, but hey ho. Blend it. I mean, these are too soft now for my liking because I've over blended it. So what I've got to do is this. I'm going to add a hard edge to it. And then also I'm going to add some kind of texture over the top as well. Like so. Let's get, this is a nice little favourite of mine to add some texture. Too much. Maybe a bit here. No, too much. Good tip with art and painting, subtlety is key. A tip that I'm still struggling with. Being subtle. More dragon-like features. Dragon Ball Z, son. Oh, this is a cool brush. And before I shut this off, we're at 40 minutes now, so I'm going to start detailing in a bit. I mean, is that shite? I don't know. I'm going to do some photo textures in a second and show you guys what I do with that. But first I'm going to bring down this value. You want it gradually to go to the distance. People tend to divide their planes too just boringly. Boringly? They'll just go like, this is the dark, this is the mid, and this is the light. This is the background, middle ground, foreground. No, foreground, middle ground, background. You need to blend that in together, so it's not too obvious. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Jesus, 2%. No wonder it's not working. Dark values in there. Maybe some, let's grab some of that orange. Yeah, I like that colour. Because it's quite saturated, that can go in with the foreground. Because in the shadows you find the most saturated colours. In the shadows! Right, here's looking a bit weird. Something needs to happen here. What's going on, Mr. Frodo? Should we just have some mist, Mr. Frodo? Right, how's that levels looking? This is going to be cold now. Disgusting. Sometimes I do an auto contrast. Not too, like normally, if it doesn't adjust it too bad, that means your values are pretty good. I don't know what auto color's thinking. Jesus. Right. Do I want this to stick out even more? So if this is a focal point right here, we can make it stick out even more by adding some darker values, and then behind it, as you'll see in a second, contrasting that with some light values, and then that then creates a focal point. Blend it, blend those values in. That's it. That's it. Don't let it change all of a sudden. Nice. That's where mist comes into play. You can get away with changes in value. No, something's happening there though. Got an idea. No, I just want a cool shape to finish this off. Maybe this is it. I don't know. Good work. May have just ruined it. Becoming like a weird creature design all of a sudden. When I go quiet, that's when I'm thinking. I'm normally thinking, what am I doing? What have I done? It was looking so good, but now it's not. Where is that? I found a cool brush actually that I want to use again. Oh, God knows where it is. This one's good though. The old flat point 11. Really? It's like a liner brush. Is that an eye or what? Is that an eye or what? And a bloody organ. So you get some real nice painterly effects with brushes like these. Traditional painting without all the mess. Add some little highlights here and there again. Look, ready? Boom. Not too much. You don't want it to be too much of a focal point. You want 3 focal points max in a landscape. We've got 1, 2. I mean that could be off. That's too far over. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Make it even more of a focal point. Bring in another colour. And then the viewer's like, what's that? And I'm like, ha, I made you look. Blend it. Blender in. Beep. Alright, it's going to be photo texture time in a minute because I'm getting bored. Sometimes photo textures can kind of bring it to life a little bit and then kind of give you some better ideas as to where the hell we are going with this. Scratch that idea. Right, that's annoying me, see that? Get rid of that. Is it called a tangent line? I can't remember. I don't know the technical terms of art, I really don't. That's where I will be a bad teacher. I'll be like, get rid of that thing. Blip, blip, blip. Right, photo textures, baby. You're probably one of my worst actually, but then someone's probably going to think it's one of my best. That's art for you. Completely subjective. Right, this will be cool. So we've got some geckos. Shove this boy in there. Change into a soft light layer. Flip him. Oops. What have I done? Control T, come on. Shift T? What have I done? Right, I'm going to have to restart Photoshop. I've done something wrong. Well, there you go, guys. We've painted a giant mountain lizard thing. Woo! I mean, yeah, it's a fun little exercise to do. No ideas going into it. Just make a mess and then see what it looks like. You'll surprise yourself what you come up with. For me, this is what art's all about. Just creating things out of nothing, and it's a good feeling afterwards. So we've made a thing. Mission accomplished. Didn't lose our mind too much. Took about an hour. So I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Peace.